And you're watching TV's only source for all the stuff you care about. I'd like to report that Kevin and Olivia ran off to Vegas to get married. So look who's here with us today.
Hi, I'm Blair Butler.
I'm guest hosting and you're guest hosting, and we're the whitest people on the channel.
We are, and we were totally not invited to the wedding.
Welcome to the G4th Reich.
It's Thursday, January 31st, and we're coming to you live from the G4 studios in Los Angeles.
Yeah, so on today's show, we're going to go where no man has gone before and reveal your favorite Star Trek characters having, yes, orgasms.
Ooh.
Trekkies, I know, your foundation is about to be rocked. Watching the feed, we can confirm that Cloverfield 2 is already in the works and maybe fast-tracked into theaters. We're going to fill you in on all the details.
And in Gadget Prawn, we have the surest sign of the apocalypse yet. We'll review the Gibson robot guitar and tell you how it may change music forever. Then our film expert, Chris Gore, heads into the Asian underground to give you a rundown of some of the best samurai films out there, including the legendary series Lone Wolf and Cub.
Yeah, but let's just get straight into business. Let's dive right in, a.k.a. the best 5 things on the web right now.
Oh, do you mean we're going to do that thing?
Around the net? Yeah, that's what it's called. Someone sadly tried to get an ATN round going, and no one else bought into it at all. No, it's too late now. You're done. All week, the internet has been obsessed with that roided-out guy who was creepily loving his body on a webcam, and of course, there have been a parade of responses. Yeah, look at my giant nipples.
Yeah.
All of them pretty great themselves.
Now, yesterday we showed you some large dude touching his man flapjacks, and it was horrifying. And today, yet another response has reached us from a galaxy far, far away. Coming in at number 5, here's a Republic Commando getting all up in his own business.
I've been working out at the cloning facility at Camino. Oh, yeah. Look at that bicep. It's at least 15 inches. Covered in 25 inches of armor. Oh, yeah, look at those shoulder bells. Oh, they are so massive. Only a Republic Commando could wear such a large bell. Oh, yeah, and I can see in the dark with these blue blinky things. Oh, yeah, oh, check it out. The nipples. Oh, the chest is so big and it's got nipples. Oh, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you virginity. Not as disturbing as the fat dude yesterday, but this one has some nerd street cred through the roof, so of course we have to give it some love.
Right. Now, coming in at number 4 today, we have a video of a personal helicopter out of the European RC Academy, and it may just revolutionize human transportation.
Yeah, forget the Segway. That is so 2002. Plus, you look like a total idiot riding it. But now, 6 years later, we have the Segway's heir apparent, the personal helicopter. You look pretty badass riding this whirly bird. Don't plug on that. Wow. Wait a second, Blair. All right, now, okay. I want to go deaf, but I also want to hover 3 feet above the ground. Can I do that while looking like a complete D-bag?
I think the inverted weed whacker can do that for you.
They can do that.
And if you wave at your friends, it cuts your arm off.
Yeah, and decapitates your pals. Say, by the way, put on your thinking caps because today's number 3 is an exercise in meta.
Oh, yes. French director Michel Gondry is known for his mind-bending music videos and movies like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. His latest, Be Kind, Rewind, released by New Line Cinema. I'm like messing up because I was trying to be all French with his name. I'm telling you, on February 22nd. It's about 2 video clerks who have to remake movies when they accidentally erase the tape.
In this clip, Gondry breaks the trailer for his own movie and, of course, has to remake it shot for shot, completely on his own in something he calls sweeting. Here it is, shown with the original theatrical trailer.
Rewind to step over on its plate.
When you're walking down the street and you see a little ghost, what you gonna do about it? Faster!
Good slam.
That was not bad.
I'm gonna shoot you and I know robot karate. What's happening to our hood?
Our version is better. Our version is only 20 minutes. Going for the kiss now. Going for the kiss. Why do you have to kiss Wilson? You have to stop her from blowing your head.
Oh, the French. We warned you it was going to be meta, but it's still pretty entertaining.
That's right. That's how they get you, the French. They get right under your skin. Oh, here's a complex media deconstruction. But look how adorable and charming we are. You bastards. If we wanted to use our brains, we'd read more. Books, even.
My God, look. We're time for that. All right, in at number 2 today is another instance of that song that just won't die. Soldier Boy.
Yes, despite all our best efforts to kill it, the internet has spawned this rap single. Continues to proliferate spoofs and spin-offs on the web. It's like the Borg.
Yeah, the guys behind today's number took two Soldier Boys. They took the Soldier Boy song, they glued on some fake mustaches and started rapping about curry sauce.
No.
Yeah.
Uncle VJ, tell him. Yo, me and Ramesh got this new dance for you all called the curry sauce. Yeah, you know, you gotta move and groove, a little bit of hip attitude, you know what I'm saying, Vijay? Ah, Indian uncles in the soul, watch us crank us, watch us roll, watch us crank that curry sauce, then rehydrate our souls with mango juice. Crank that curry sauce. Uncle chat up in the soul, watch us crank it, watch us crawl, watch us crank that curry sauce, then wash all our ball with shampoo. Crank that curry sauce. Uncle Vijay in the soul, watch me clean and sort my socks. CTV, that show, then watch me go for a walk. How you?
That's good racial stereotyping.
Yes, and still less offensive than the original.
Yeah,
That's what's so
and Blair,
amazing.
it just goes to show you that that song is catchy no matter what the lyrics are about.
What are the lyrics about, Chris?
I have no idea. Finally, the Star Trek franchise is known for many things. Television's first interracial kiss,
Yay.
inspiration for future technologies, and inclusive humanistic themes that hold diplomacy over violence.
But one thing the series has never been known for, however, is good acting. And that's why it was so easy for the guys at Double Viking to recut Trek actors in pain into something they called Star Trek orgasms.
Oh, no, they didn't.
Oh, ooh. Oh, yes. It's coming? Yes.
Press your fingers there, Doctor.
Yes, please, I want more.
Lovely money shot at the
I'm
end.
sorry I shot Gordach on your face. Hey, here's another pun. I guess he found his Q-spot.
Oh.
Nerd. To get your daily viral fix, make sure to head over to g4tv.com/AroundTheNet. There you can also sign up for the Around the Net podcast. It's antibiotic resistant.
Yes, and right now, time for the only news you need to know. Here's Kristen Holt and the feed headlines.
Thanks, guys. Here's what's coming up in the feed. First, Cloverfield 2 is on the way. Probably. We'll tell you which movie might delay the giant monster's next romp. Plus, the Sci-Fi Channel is turning to the internet to find shows, and we'll tell you about the surprising battle underway between Google and Facebook. It's all coming your way in just a few minutes. But first, back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Kristen. Let's hear from you and the army of monitor heads.
Yes, it's time for video viewer mail.
So I was wondering, we see Chris and Blair on the AOTS all the time, both for their segments and for guest hosting. Am I the only one who thinks they should have their own show? The only question is, what would the show be about?
Okay, the answer to the first question is yes. You are the only person who thinks that.
Yes, but
apparently.
we appreciate you.
We really do appreciate
Yeah.
that. I don't know. We were talking before, like, what would our show be about? It'd be like Comics and Spanky, where you read comic books and I figure out how to masturbate to that.
I can give you some Wonder Woman titles that'll probably help you out.
Actually, I think an awesome show would be you, like, pick your favorite comic book sequence, and then I go out and find dumbasses to try to recreate those sequences
But it wouldn't
in
be
the
like
world.
the exciting, like, Spider-Man jumping off the building. It'd be like, The elongated man cradles Sue Dibney's dead body.
And cries
to the
heavens.
Infinite crisis.
I want to jump across the building. No, you got to cry, you wiener. And then we laugh at them, because that's what we do. Hey, we're just getting started, and there's plenty more show to go around, so please stay with us. A live Attack of the Show is coming right back. Here's what's coming up on today's Attack of the Show. Treadmills and dirt bikes are a great way to get some exercise, but they're an even better way to create some great moments in de-evolution. And tired of tuning your guitar when all you really want to do is rock? Gibson might have the perfect robot guitar for you on Gadget Prawn. Plus, samurais are coming out slicing when we honor some of the sweetest Eastern warrior films like Samurai Champloo in the Asian Underground. Dead or alive, you're coming with us when the attack comes back.
You need to know.
You know, I'm not sure that's 100% accurate there, Blair Butler, during an election year, but we still throw our support behind Kristen Holt and the feed.
Okay.
Thanks, guys. It's time to start the feed. Director Matt Reeves has been a busy man. Paramount is excited to get him working on another Cloverfield film, along with screenwriter Drew Goddard. The pair recently hinted that the single-camera footage in the first film may not have been the only camera running the night the monster attacked Manhattan, so it's possible that the same events could play out from a different perspective. There is a chance, however, that the sequel may not be Reeves' next film because he's agreed to direct The Invisible Woman for Green Street Films, which is described as a Hitchcock-style thriller about a former beauty queen that turns to crime to protect her family. Reeves' friend and producing partner is on board to help produce both of the films. The Sci-Fi Channel has ordered 13 episodes of a show called Sanctuary, which will be produced using live-action actors in front of virtual sets, much like the films 300 and Sin City. The announcement is notable because Sanctuary originated online as the first high-def sci-fi series on the web. The show was created by Stargate SG-1 producers and features a doctor and her young protege as they seek out and help strange creatures that walk the earth. The show will feature 90% CGI sets and is already well into development. Amazon.com has gobbled up Audible.com, the net's leading provider of digital spoken word content. The company produces audio editions of books, magazines, newspapers, and TV shows. There are over 80,000 programs available, and the acquisition is seen as a way for Amazon to make sure that it has content for its new e-reader, the Kindle, which we'll review on tomorrow's AOTS. Steve Jobs is batting 500 on his Macworld promises. The world's thinnest laptop, the MacBook Air, has indeed begun shipping from Apple, but Apple TV Take-Two, the major software overhaul for the Apple TV, has been delayed for at least a couple of weeks. The delay could be just what the Vudu service needs to get a foothold in the market. The Vudu service also rents digital copies of film and TV content. And finally, Google and Facebook are competing for the latest computer science graduates, and the battlefield is Stanford University. Last year's grads were in line for jobs that paid over 70 grand a year, but now Facebook's ascent has driven up the price of computer science graduates to a starting salary of more than $95,000 a year. Meanwhile, master's degree holders are commanding $130,000 a year as associate product managers at Google. So long, student loans. Well, that's it for today, but don't worry, the feed doesn't stop here. Get all the news you need anytime, anywhere on your mobile phone. More info available at g4tv.com/mobile. I'm Kristen Holt, and you've just been fed.
Thanks, Kristen. We have some more knowledge to drop on you right now. How about some great Japanese movies?
Yeah, film experts Chris Gore and Jeff Wong went into the Asian underground to take a look at the best samurai flicks from the East. Here's a look at Samurai Champloo and more Japanese action greats.
Champloo.
Hey, Chris Gore here in Little Tokyo, hanging with Asian cinema guru Jeff Wong. And today we're talking about some of the sickest swordplay on celluloid in Asian underground.
That's right. Now, the samurai is the archetype of Hollywood's biggest badasses. One of the most popular ones of all time is Zatoichi. It's actually director Beat Takeshi's take on the character. He's been around for a long time, been in a number of films. It follows the samurai as he's journeying through this village, overrun by Yakuza and his exploits in fighting off the hand of evil. Music plays a key role in this movie, where musical cues are actually given in the film by vis-a-vis carpenters or tap dancers and stuff like that. It plays really theatrically, but that doesn't take away any of the action from it.
Where does this film rank in terms of the great samurai films?
Well, it's one of the most famous characters of all time, so any fan of samurai will love this movie and add it to their collection.
Now, when it comes to top shelf, some samurai flicks kick just as much ass in anime as they do in real life.
That's right, and no series does that better than the anime Samurai Champloo. Produced by the same creative team that did Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo follows the tales of two Ronin named Mugen and Jin and the girl Fu that hires them to find somebody.
Holy crap.
The word Champloo comes from a slang term which means mashup. So what they did was infuse hip-hop into sort of the theme of the show using music. Even the characters in it sort of have sort of this hip-hop lifestyle, which doesn't really play straight in that time period, but it works for the show.
How do you like that?
Even though the DVD is a little bit bare bones, it has nothing but just the show, it's one that I keep coming back to.
Get back here, you
Now, the first samurai films began with a much greater emphasis on storytelling rather than action.
That's right, and the Lone Wolf and Cub series was one of the first ones to balance the two. Lone Wolf and Cub is a series about an assassin named Ogami Ito who, after his wife's murder, has to lead the path on the road to vengeance. At the beginning of the story, he gives his son a choice. He throws a sword down and a ball down. The kid chooses the sword and then has to follow his dad on the road to hell. This is one of those early Chambara films that actually utilize the arterial spray we've become used to. It also has influenced a lot of films since.
What films would you cite as some of the great influence?
Road to Perdition is exactly sort of a remake of Lone Wolf and Cub, Kill Bill Volume 2, the ending, some of the elements in the modern film Shoot 'em Up. So this is a series that has been a mainstay in cinema, action or samurai or otherwise throughout.
Tit for tat.
Jeff, thanks again for showing us the way of samurai cinema. I promise I'll get these back to you someday.
Yeah, Lone Wolf and Cub is actually a really cool comic book series. It was a huge influence on Frank Miller, his Ronin comic.
Slice, you're dead. I've never read it, but I hear the movies are pretty great too. But that should be avoided a recut called Shogun Assassin, right?
Yeah, you should watch the original 6 original films. Definitely not the mashup, which is not so good.
P.S. While we're talking about swords and segues,
Ninja viewer mail.
Let's do it. Here's Jason from Syracuse.
With all these old movies coming back out, like Rambo and Indiana Jones, I was just wondering which movie series you'd bring back if you could.
Do you have one?
You know, I like a lot of the old Cronenberg films, which are perfect, but The Brood and Scanners I could actually see getting remakes of.
I was going to say Short Circuit.
Oh.
Yeah, Short Circuit.
Nice.
Because with all the CG technology, you could CG the robot and Steve Guttenberg.
Right.
But I would make that be the transition into the Terminator series, where he comes back and he's like, "Come with me if you want to live," you know, and then it goes into a dark robot awareness thing. Still ahead, there's more Attack of Ye Old Show, so please stay thy remote.
From motocross mayhem to the new idiot-style accessories, we're bringing you plenty of great moments in de-evolution. And Zach Selman's going modeling your...
That's actually Kevin right now. He's being repaired.
Yeah.
So he'll be back tomorrow.
2000.
Yeah, exactly.
Stapled together. All right, the Darwin Awards were just announced, and it reminded us that we should feature more of some people who probably won't be around for too much longer.
Yeah, you know, if it weren't for the internet, you would actually have to go undercover with drunken hillbillies to enjoy this kind of self-destruction. To see today's de-evolution greats.
Yeah. Look, it exploded into me. First, we are going to see what happens when you try to ride a motorcycle through a giant mud bog. Mud bog.
Base, I'd like to introduce you to my good friend, Ground.
The torque in the guy's lower back, his legs went like whoop, over his head and then back down.
Thing just didn't keep mow him in half.
I know.
His friends would have still laughed.
So I think that probably wasn't what he had in mind when he started driving.
Listen, he may not be the smartest fella, but at least his good friends are looking out for him by cackling relentlessly after he had a violent motorcycle crash.
Yeah, instead of, I don't know, seeing if he was okay after he bent in half, his pals just fall to the ground laughing because it's funny.
Yeah, hey, remember that time Doug cracked a vertebra in his neck? Man, that was funny. Okay, Blair, let's get a verdict. How many out-of-control tire fires are we giving this one?
This guy is yet another classic in an ever-growing canon of idiotic motorsports clips. It's a strong contender, but far from the best. I give it a mere 3 out-of-control tire fires.
Yeah. She's tough but fair. Tough but fair.
Look at the burning. All right, next. I like the sirens.
Whoa.
Next up, we've got an example of what you shouldn't do on a treadmill.
This is usually what happens to fat people.
Oh. I like that we never saw the transition. Like, he was just running, and the next thing we knew,
this is what
like a
this
pillow.
thing does, and here's what I shouldn't do.
I will never understand people like this guy. There was no way anything good was going to come out of that, but at least use a pillow, damn it.
Yeah, and why is it that, how come when you turn on a video camera onto your average moron, they feel compelled to do something to injure themselves?
Yeah.
I thank them. Did you just hit me in the face?
Yeah, it's because I'm the average idiot.
Okay.
Anyways, that's proof that there is a higher power at work, Chris. Some say God rested on the 7th day. I say he created internet videos of stupid people hurting themselves.
Hallelujah! Well, all praise due then, because this brings me so much joy. I can feel it coursing through my veins right now.
Like sweet liquid fire. This time you get the honors, Chris. How many out-of-control tire fires are you going to bestow upon this magical clip?
Well, I think that this is a solid entry, but he didn't break anything other than, like, the wall shook a little bit, but I'm going to go with 4 out-of-control tire fires. Yeah. There they are right there. You see them.
Nice.
Out of a possible 5.
Flaming. Now our last skim of the gene pool reveals what happens when an idiot puts on a dog collar that emits electrical shocks.
There has to be a twist, right?
Can't be that simple.
First of all, great that the kid was watching.
Right.
You know, I saw that coming from a mile away, but it was still so enjoyable in every way.
And fun for the whole family. Even the baby thought that guy was retarded. That was amazing.
That baby's very first word is going to be, stop! I give that a perfect 5 out-of-control tire fires.
Yeah.
5. There they are.
I second that. Hopefully the kid will strap the collar onto his junk and let her rip, because humanity depends on him not being able to pass along those genes.
Yes, well, I'm sorry to say this. That's it for Great Moments in De-Evolution. And if you in any way identified with the participants of these videos, please use birth control.
Yes, please. Time now to go from biology class to economics. Now, I don't...
It's available for adoption. He's pet of the week. He's a very loving cat. Pinky.
Pinky, whoa.
Well, we got a wildcat on our hands. Pinky, settle down, bud.
Welcome back to the Attack of the Show. He's drumming badly. The only show where the hosts make it work for you.
That's right. Well, other shows will just let you sit back on your couches half-dressed and covered in your own filth. We here at AOTS have standards, and once in a while, we demand your participation.
Which is why we're about to ask you what you think about the week's breaking stories in the virtual audience. First up, we're talking to Matt from Pennsylvania about the Grand Theft Auto hot coffee settlement. It's been 2.5 years since the controversy first hit, and now Take-Two has set up a site for the offended to receive compensation. Now, Matt, would you swear under penalty of perjury that you were offended for $35?
I would never swear that. First of all, you're giving up a great game, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. No one wants to do that for $35. Second of all, I definitely wasn't even offended. Excuse me. And I think people just need to let this go. This was years ago.
Right. Well, yeah, I know. It's like you'd think people would have forgotten the pixelated humping by now.
How many people do you think are actually going to go through the trouble it takes to get this ridiculously small pittance?
Well, I don't even think the word is going to spread too much about this computational system here, but I really don't think anyone wants to give up this game at all, and technically I just really think that we need less of these Jack Thompson types running around this world setting up these little systems.
Yeah, well, and it seems like anyone who bought the game in the first place is probably not the type of person that's going to be offended.
You mean in a game where I can murder someone with a pipe, there's sex?
What?
Why would that happen?
Shocking.
All right, thanks a lot, Matt. Next, we're going to talk to Matthew from Texas in today's all-Matthew-themed virtual audience about Freddy Krueger's comeback. Now, ENunn is planning to resurrect the horror icon with the killer manicure, or is it this hand, for another go-around. Are you looking forward to being afraid of sleeping again, Matthew?
Well, I'm gonna have to give that one a big thumbs down. I really don't think I'd like to see the movie remade.
Yeah.
I like the rawness of the original ones.
By rawness, do you mean poor quality, or?
No, I don't know. I just like the way that the old 80s movies look.
Yeah.
And it had a young Johnny Depp.
A very young Johnny Depp.
Extremely young, pre-21 Jump Street.
I'm going to win an Oscar someday. I'm going to be nominated and make billions of dollars.
Oh.
Okay, whatever. Just get stabbed by the monster.
I'll writhe around on a bed while I die. Are you getting sick of studios remaking their old cash cows, or do you think some of the classics still need like a little bit of the modern touch?
I think if they remastered it, maybe, but not to remake the whole movie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so.
So maybe like taking a total crazy spin on Freddy Krueger, not like a
Well, they did New Nightmare, though, which was a weird kind of meta spin on Freddy Krueger. So, like, what else do you need?
They did Freddy versus Jason.
You know what? Nightmare on Elm Street babies. Just like the Muppet Babies, where they're cute little adorable. They're going to swipe at you.
Oh. And as we mentioned earlier in the feed, Matt Reeves is in talks to work on another Cloverfield movie. Now, Josh, were you a big fan of Cloverfield?
At first, I didn't pick up the viral. Then as soon as the movie came out, I instantly got hooked. I ended up going to watch it twice.
Really? So you liked it?
Yeah, second time I watched it just so I can pick up any little thing I missed the first time.
Yeah, I heard there's something hidden at the end of the movie.
Interesting. Josh, what would you want the sequel to be about? Like, what do you think would be a good way to wrap that up?
Primarily, first thing, helmet cam, possibly from a soldier's point of view, or a fake documentary basing off the attack, but I really want to see flaming hobos.
Flaming
hobos?
Hobos?
Yes.
Well, you don't need a movie for that. You can just go light a guy on fire, and he's so soaked in his own alcohol that they'll ignite like that, Josh. I don't know if you're aware of that. You don't need Cloverfield and millions of dollars to do that. Well, I'm sorry, that is all the virtual audiencing we have time for today, but thank you so much.
Yes, but we will be spending more time with the virtual audience in the show to come because we love being with you oh so very much.
Just as long as we're separated by hundreds of miles.
Yes, hundreds of miles. And speaking of hundreds of miles, we just sent Zach
Both Chris and Blair do stand-up. Have either of you seen each other's work?
That's actually a good question. Not because it involves us and we're self-involved comics, but not only have I seen you perform, but we've actually done some shows together.
We were talking about this actually when we found out we were hosting today's show. We did a bunch of rooms in L.A.
And in San Francisco too. I'm actually going up to San Francisco this weekend to perform in your hometown.
Chris is hilarious.
Blair is even more hilarious. But the G4 has crushed all of your stand-up time out of you.
G4 uses me like a pack mule. They just work me to the bone, and then I go home at night and I crawl into bed and I weep.
That's right. That's funny.
And on that note, which is hilarious, right now we're giving you your tech fix for the day.
Millions of gadgets vie for our attention, but few will ever make it into our hands and onto our show. It's time for Gadget Prawn. Now, the Gibson robot guitar, two words everyone loves, robot and guitar. It does tune itself, but it still needs you to play the music. For now, till it becomes self-aware. Gone are the days when you sat around waiting for Buckethead to tune up for the 15th time during a set, because Gibson has released the robot guitar. Built on a standard Les Paul guitar with no degradation in sound, it automatically self-tunes to the A440 standard. You can also access 6 tuning presets or go to an entirely different key in seconds. But be prepared to rock for about $2,500. Here it is. Here it is.
Now, before you tell me anything about it,
GGC.
I want to see it tune itself because it actually looks kind of nifty.
All right, so it's very simple. You just kind of like pop the knob out here. I'm in a Dad Gad tune right now, but actually I'm just going to go to a just to a regular E, and you see all the party lights?
The turning.
Them's party lights. Does that come kind of alien guitar? You go to the tune you want, you strum, and the guitar does the rest. And the onboard CPU detects which strings are off pitch, and then the motorized tuners actually turn to increase or decrease the pitch of the string until the whole thing is completely in tune.
Okay, but you're not going to spend an extra $1,000 just to save yourself a few seconds of tuning time, so what else can it do?
Well, my buddy Phil Hurley came in, who's in an awesome band called Stonehoney, and tuned to an open G in just seconds and shredded away. So check this out.
All right.
There is, you pull out the knob, and honestly, if you can distinguish colors from one another, you can tune this guitar.
All right.
He's strumming right there. He looks like I think he's going into an open G.
Oh my God! I
real
know
time
the
saver.
invisible hand of Jimi Hendrix is tuning it. That's incredible.
That's right, a white Jimi Hendrix.
Yes, Phantom Hendrix.
He turned white in Afterlife.
He was scared.
And then we blew him up. Because he's too good to exist, we have to snipe him out.
He exploded in a fiery furnace of rock.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. It's a real time saver. You know, preset tunings like drop D or open D or what. The only other way to actually do this any quicker was to actually switch guitars. So this actually might put some roadies out of business. Plus, you can customize the presets to a tuning of your choosing in case you're looking for some kind of specific sound. And you don't want anyone to touch your axe. And then you can go into intonation mode where the CPU actually helps you adjust the string saddles until you have the perfect intonation. Normally, you'd have to pay some jerky guitar shop guy to do that, and then they'd berate you afterwards.
Right. You don't want the smug guitar roadie guy.
No.
But let me tell you, it's rare to find a product that actually does what it claims to do with no snags. Are there any drawbacks to this?
Well, the main drawback is that I'm not a great guitar player. But other than that, the thing worked like a dream. And not to mention this particular Les Paul sounds as amazing as ever. You can actually retrofit different guitars. It's not just this guitar. And also changing the strings, you just pop these little keys out right here and stick it in, and then it tunes it. Sometimes it'd be faster to do it by hand, but it wouldn't be nearly as cool. And yes, $2,500 is hefty, and the availability of these is scant, if I can use a weird word, but repairing it is also a hassle.
All right, but bottom line, it's expensive, so who is this for?
It's for the intermediate to advanced guitar player who plays a lot of gigs, you know? If you're a beginner, I would say hold off. Learn to tune with your hands first, you lazy bastard. Walk, then dance with your robot guitar. C, D, G.
That was really beautiful.
My song. That's my song, CDG.
That's really nice.
And speaking of G.
Yes, and speaking of G, don't forget about G-Cycle. G4's plan to reduce e-waste. Visit gcycle.org to find local places to ditch your old electronics and start G-cycling.
Yeah, nice. My grandmother told me once, don't throw stones in a glass house. But she has since passed away. Ha! Who wins now, Grandma? So it's time to warm up. It's time to warm up the arm with today's epic fail.
Oh, educational videos from the 50s have a special nostalgia about them that we all love.
Dead.
That's a good nostalgic thought. But one parody produced recently and made to look like a vintage film
Didn't leave me any money.
Nothing to love about it at all, really. And so it's today's epic fail.
Let's get to today's lesson. Dancing. Well, not exactly like that, Kevin. Clearly we've got some work to do, so let's start from the beginning. We'll start with the feet. Now try and move your feet in time with the rhythm, Kevin. Now that we've got the rhythm down, let's try to work it into our shoulders. Let's move on to your...
Wow, we really enjoyed the effort here. Solid concept of doing an educational video, but do something other than white guy dancing. Come on, man, seriously, it's 2008, for crap's sake. Better luck next time. We hope to see you around the net someday. I'm still holding out the from the whole time. That was actually one of our stinkiest epic fails yet. I think we actually need something to help fumigate the fail out of the air.
Oh, well, how about people in outer space awkwardly orgasming in a utopian future?
Roll it!
Oh. Ooh. Oh, yes. It's coming? Yes.
Press your fingers there, Doctor.
Yes, please, I want more.
If only there were a con in there at the end.
Coming up tomorrow on an all-new AOTS, we're reviewing the new Amazon Kindle that makes libraries extinct.
My library.
The homeless find a better new stomping ground. Plus, Olivia and Kevin will ride the infamous Hawaii chairs. You're not going to want to miss the insanity.
I don't know what that is, but it sounds interesting.
Oh,
and then
I've seen it. It's ridiculous.
Next week, we'll pit two more elderly folk in another battle of the ancients. Up for grabs is a full set of Matlock DVDs that they will unfortunately not know how to even play.
That's right. And as always, right after Attack of the Show, you can catch an all-new X-Play.
Let's check in with Adam and Morgan to see what they have planned today.
We don't have to if you don't want to.
No, guys,
up next, we preview the 21st century version of Turok, which has a dinosaur or two.
Plus, we'll review the Hypnotic Endless Ocean for the week and preview the latest Alone in the Dark.
Okay.
Back to you.
Got it.
All right, go to g4tv.com/AOTX for all the things you saw today and more. I'm actually looking forward
Claire, you rock.
to seeing
Thank you so much. It was good doing the show with you, and everyone will be back tomorrow that should be. Good night.
Yes. Goodbye.
Good day.
Farewell.
Good evening.
Oh. We still have a little time.
They're telling us to stretch. So what things do you like?
I like comic books and kittens.
I like paste.
Tasty paste? Like
yep, and
blue
cardboard.
paste?
What, still? Keep going?
Yeah.
One time I pasted a kitten to another kitten.
How about those Star Trek